Howdy everybody, Wildman Willie here, and thanks for watching. The 2001 Toyota Camry has earned a reputation as one of the world's most reliable vehicles. You'll find them all over the world, and they can put up with anything the world's roads can throw at them. Eventually everything does wear out. They are not immune to entropy. A client of mine has a nice looking one, runs great, engine's awesome. Underneath, everything's okay, but it's worn in and worn out in more ways than one. We've got a few bad bushings, we've got a bad tie rod end, we've got struts that are just about defeated on all four corners. So on this one, the gentleman assumes not purchase a new vehicle. He could just drive it the way it is with a few minor repairs for as long as he wanted to put up with some squeaks. He does have the money to invest a little bit in it, and he assumes upcycle his own car. So what we're going to do is a complete undercar restoration on a 2001 Toyota Camry. Just about everything you can reach and get to and replace is coming out on the vehicle. New quality parts going back in. This job's going to feature Gabriel on all four corners. There's Moog in here, Mevotech, and Suspensia is debuting on this job. We're going to end up with Uniroyal Tiger Paw tires. This is going to ride nice when we're done. We are going to run into a couple of hiccups. Several stuck bolts on the car that are going to be common problems that you're going to run into working on one of these Camrys. Also, this one may have a bit of a bit knuckle. I had to add a camber bolt to adjust one of the rear tires. We'll go over that more in the video properly. So, you'll also see some pitfalls if you decide to tackle something like this yourself, what you may run into on it. Or not, hopefully not. Good news is this car's not rusted. Everything did come apart and everything did go back together, and the end result very nice. Then we got to put some hubcaps on it and dress it up. So, come with me. Let's replace everything on a 2001 Toyota Camry. Today we have received the tires for the 2001 Camry project. Uniroyal Tiger Paw 205/65 R15. These have a 700 treadwear rating. Hey, beefy. But look at that beefy bead. I'm so glad that the tire store gets to deal with mounting that and not me. But I believe that's going to represent a major improvement over what the old ones offered when they were new and they wore out. So, good quality tires make the car. I believe that's what we got. That was $359 delivered by BB Tires. They are legit. If you're seeing them pop up in your search results, I don't know if they're running loss leaders or what. They're $10 less a tire on this same thing than anybody else. Here they are. They're legit. So, we'll get this car put together when the rest of the parts arrive. But, excited to have these in stock. Have fun, everybody. I got a whole Toyota chassis in my bed, folks. What am I going to do? We got in all these parts. There ain't no room for anything. So, control arms of all kinds. I'm going to get some of this stuff out of the boxes, and we're going to go over it in a little bit. So old Willie can have some space back, because right now I ain't fully had my coffee. Dog went to barking about this delivery, and I got it in the house, and now I ain't got no place to sit. Alright, let's sort it. Let's get done with logistics and get the day begun. And today we have received the Gabriel Ultra ReadyMount Struts for the Camry, or at least two of them. So most of my customers go with the FCS as they're less expensive, and they're very good. But let's see what these Gabriels are actually like. They pack them like a shoebox, so I don't have to cut my hands off on staples to get it open. That's pretty cool. Come on out of there. You know you want to be free. Alright. So let's see what we have inside. The Gabriel strut. Real nice coating on this. I mean, it's paint, but it has a different texture. It feels thick. The welds on this are pretty good. They're not real ugly like I often see. I mean, they're somewhat ugly, but look at enough struts and you'll see some real big chunks. Nice coil spring isolator seat. Variable rate spring. A date code on that shows
Made in 2021. Good buffer. So this is going to be a good piece right here. This is going to make this ride as well as I possibly can. Excited to see the rest come in. We'll show you the difference. The last two struts for the Camry have arrived. There they are. It's a very beefy, good looking part. I'm going to be excited to install that. So it's all here, folks. I have the entire chassis of a Camry here. Nothing else I'm waiting on. We're going to start this up on Friday. Friday's going to be excellent weather. I'm excited. And I'm taking all this crap to his house here in just a minute. Have fun. And it's the big project y'all been waiting for, or one of them. Today is suspension day on this 2001 Camry. As you can see here, I've begun getting things apart. We got more camera equipment too. We're going to have lots of good video. It's time for that strut. That's been in there a long time. I got that loose. It ain't broke like that. A lot of interior stuff has to come loose to access the top strut bolt. I'm real excited about reaching that, but I want to get this plastic bezel loose, and that should make things easier. A few holdups getting started on this one. It's hard to get rolling and figure out exactly what I needed per se, but we got the ball rolling now. We're underneath it. Once I get this cover off and get those two bolts loose, then I expect this to fly together. Mounting the parts, it's all getting ready to go on. Hope y'all are enjoying St. Patrick's Day, getting a good dose of this nice weather. Hey, that boat's got my name on it. It's making good progress. The first strut is off the vehicle. So now you can see up in the hall, you can see these other bones, but I'm going to do them bones after I got the strut under the vehicle so that, you know, it's not just all apart at one time, just one piece at a time. So we're going to do that. Strut, bolts. Move down in this little hole. You see, that's fun to access, but it's not so bad once you get that bezel off. Once I figured that out what had to happen. Got the seat belts out of the way. Let's compare the struts. We have gone with Gabriel Ultra ReadyMount today with G-Force technology. In my opinion, the best I can source for this car within reasonable money. Some might say KYB is better, but I don't feel like paying $75 more a piece for them versus excellent lifetime guarantee. Gabriel invented the strut. I mean the shock, excuse me. So you can see coil spring looks a little more aggressive. Does come with new fasteners, that's nice. Some nice coating on that thing. It's not just that glossy paint. That is going to resist corrosion. You can see the welds are of pretty good quality. Things are beefy, and I used a little bigger flange here than on the OE. That'll look similar enough. We got our Suspensia sway bar end link. So you see there's nothing aggressively special about them, but they do use the little retainer to hold the boots down, and they do give me a nylock, and they do give me a decently milled Allen key so they can be serviced in the future. I won't call these disposable. I expect them to last as long as these actually last. Lifespan of these is 3 years on a great day. So let's get this underneath this car. Wish me luck, folks. Let's make it happen. As you can see, maybe you can't see yet. Focus, you fool. We've got a new strut assembly and sway bar link and sway bar bushing in this car. Now we're going to do this link and the underlinks, and then we're done with this side. Hopefully that'll go relatively easy for me and we can get this other side knocked out this afternoon. Excited to see how much higher this stands up. I expect substantially. We've got the trailing arm out of the situation. That wasn't too difficult. I was happy about that. Still got these two links to deal with, and I'm just doing them one at a time so I don't have to fly this thing. Let's check out the difference. Going back with a Moog on this. As you can see, it looks great, looks great. Hey, wait. Look how much meaner that bushing is than what this thing came with. And for good reason. That one looks pretty destroyed. Yeah. Let's make this link actually do its job. Here we go. Well, we're facing a few delays with this one. The subframe has to come down for me to access these links. Now, you can reach the nuts, that's no problem. I could drop those. But the belt is one giant bolt, runs all the way through. And I need the subframe to lower down so that I can access the bolt and pull it out. So I'm going to lower the subframe on these corners. That shouldn't be too terribly hard to do, but I am going to run out of daylight before that's fully done. That's fine. I'll come back in the morning and restart. Now, I did get the other strut out on this side, and I think that's what I'm going to do today before the sun goes down, is get that other strut assembly in that hole. Here's another dead strut for you. Ooh, she ugly. These Gabriels going back in look very nice. So, let me get that bolted in there, and then we'll have progress made for the night. Thankfully, it looks like those inner bolts. See, now you can see things. That inner bolt holds that link to here. And it runs all the way through. So I had to drop the cradle down to give it access to come out without impacting into that gas tank right there. These guys right here also run all the way through. And you can see there is some corrosion on the end of that. I could have to go to war with that. Let's hope not. I did bring air and heat. Believe it or not, yes, I do own those things. I don't tote them with me 99% of the time, only when I know that my back is valuable. But we got that subframe just dropped. Although this one does kind of try to want to be the bottomless pit. I've got a seized bolt, and I knew I would. The one that runs through there to let me get this link off. So I've had to take the whole knuckle off the car. I'm going to have to heat that and hit it with impact. Impact alone and PB blaster ain't doing it. So we're going to get it hot and force its ass out of there one way or the other way or the other way. Subframe's all the way out. Whole damn thing's taken apart. So now I'm going to let the client know if they got a fire extinguisher, they should bring it out to me just for sake of argument, and a couple of wet rags. And we're going to start playing with fire. Alright folks, that big long bad bolt is out. I did tear the threads up a little bit. They're not too bad. It's just a little bit warped. I think I can get it back together with the impact. It'll be okay. I don't know where I would find another one of them if I had to. Damn thing seizes. Stupid ass Toyota run one bolt all the way across that. And of course it seizes inside. That being said, it's out. Now I just got to do the same to the other side. Hope and pray I'm able to put it back together with that bolt when I'm done, that I hadn't killed it. We'll figure out something to do. That's what we always do. Well, that was hard work, but it's all off the car. I need to sort some things. I think I need to go get my tap and die kit to attempt to rehab that one bolt. She's apart. Now we have a Camry with no subframe and no links, just hanging on the strut, which that'll be okay. Ain't a whole lot of weight unslung hanging on that strut. So we got her apart. That's what your Camry looks like with nothing up underneath it. This was the stubborn side. I had to take that whole hub off to do it. All right, the day continues. It's too bad I don't really bill by the hour sometimes. But we got the subframe under the Camry. That's under there. Now, everything is soft installed, of course. Show you what that'll look like from this side. Of course, I still got to attach the sway bar link. There's more to do, but that is both lateral links, the drag link in. So let's go have some lunch real quick, see if I can't rehab this bolt. The threads are a little mushed right there. Just a little. Just a little bit. I think, though, that I can make that a usable bolt again. I see where the problem is, and it'll be alright. In essence, in the end, I need the bolt to grab down here, not all the way at the end. So I've got a couple of tricks I could pull. But we're going to go see about that. Head to the house. Alright folks, it's always an adventure. So I just called everybody in town. Nobody has a metric 14 1 1/4 tap or die that I could use to fix this bolt. So, time to get out the file. I have obliterated the threads from the end of the bolt where they are not necessary. That's not where the nut holds. And now, Yeah, I know that's ugly, folks. I know it's ugly. But we can hand thread on to where it gets ugly. Heck, we can run it all the way down. So, repaired. Let me get that under the car. The exciting adventure continues, but notice I got a bit of a smile on my face. Today I built a Camry. I believe everything is together. I believe everything is tight. I will do a final tight check once I have it all set on the ground. But I put together a Camry here. You can see that's all looking good. All together. And then this right here is all together looking good. So, about 20 more minutes, I'll have the wheels on it and we'll set it on the ground and see what we got. Good news is, I've proven to myself the lower control arm bolt on this one ain't all seized. That turned just fine, so that will be easy to deal with. Unfortunately, I have my complete collection of axle sockets, and that stub's too long for the one I got to engage of the correct size. So, we're out on doing part of the lower today, unfortunately. Good news, we're going to get this strut and the sway bar link and probably the sway bar bushings done on both sides. Leave the lower control arm, tie rod ends, and CV axles for a third service when I come in with that socket, and that should all be rational and sane. I can get this done in not too terribly long if it doesn't fight. Hopefully in time before the raindrops start back up. So, let's get cracking spinning them bolt heads. I got that out of there, not a moment too soon, because it's starting to get cold. I want to blast this finish, do the other side, and button this puppy up. That being said, let's compare original equipment from 2001 to Gabriel Ultra ReadyMount. We got a Suspensia sway bar link there. Not going to be too much to it, but to do it, to stick that in there. So let's go ahead and get it installed. Alright, not too complicated. There's that one in, isn't that pretty? You can see where the new stuff is in the other set. We'll begin. It was going to leave a big glue mark if I peeled the sticker off, so we left the sticker this time. So, we're going to put the wheel on this one and lower this side. Rinse, repeat on the other side, and then we'll be done with this one for the day. Here we go. There's the driver's side out on the ground here in Funky Town. We got the new Gabriel and Suspensia ready to go in the hole. Didn't give me too much of a fight on that side either. I am looking forward to finishing the rest of it and calling this one done. For this gentleman, I'm sure he's ready too. The control arm bushings. We got the control arms. I'm certainly going to replace them. It needs it. The CV axles, we got them to put in. It needs it. The ball joint comes with the lower control arm. Needs it. Outer tie rod end, not too terrible, but it's getting a new one. All those things I just mentioned are coming as one shot. We got it out. Let's put this in. I feel my glove filling up with blood. It's got that squishy feeling. That's not nice. I ain't taking that off to see what's cut right this minute. Let's get that put in. Well, I'm wet and I'm cold, and this car is getting old, but the struts ain't old on it no more. We got it all put together right before all this rain started. Just in time, too. I guess I was kidding myself talking about doing control arms and CV axles with the weather anyway. But as you can see, this thing's sitting up proud. Now, I have not moved it around yet to make the wheels all point in a straight direction. They're all towed in and puckered up for everything. But the car is sitting up like it's supposed to. We'll do a comparative, but we got a hand height between that fender and that tire now. And that was like that. So, looking way better. I'm sure it's going to drive way better. We're about to take a little test drive and prove that. Just down the street and back, and then we're going to call this a day and pack it up. That rain is enough for me. I'm dedicated, but you know what? The universe is telling me when it's time today. Alright. That took care of most of the steering alignment issue in it just to put them front struts in. Not a second too soon. It's like ice and crap coming down, just pouring it right now. Good news is I'm only a couple of 100 yards from the house, otherwise I'd be freaking out. Look at that pour down. That's frozen percent, folks. You can see it mounting up on that windshield as we speak. So, good news is that car feels like I did work to it now. Now the customer is going to be able to tell. I'm a very happy man, and I feel like the rest of what I got to do is going to tighten it right on up. Quite the pile of axle nut sockets here. No two of them are the same brand. You know why? Because I grow them one at a time as I come across new axle bolts that won't do it. This is a 32 deep 12 point. It's a 36 point, but I do need deep. I could probably do that, but I don't feel like doing that. 30 millimeter closed end. That measures that up just right. That's what size I need. Let's check the other side. Yep, this side also 30 millimeter 6 point. So let's go buy yet another socket, then we can rock it. Taking just a minute to regroup in the middle of disassembly here. Got the control arm out, got the knuckle off, got the tie rod end off, got everything apart out of here. I got the clip out of the CV axle. Now I just got to extract that CV axle and I can stick the new one in, clean this side up and move over to the other side. Boy, am I ready. But we are making progress with it. When we get this axle popped out and then we'll regroup. I am going to check and make sure there is a little bolt on the carrier bearing. I need to make sure that doesn't need to come out before I beat this. Yepper, that definitely does come out to remove this. Just watched another video on it just to make sure I was sure for a second. You know, never hurts to look. And they already had the bolt out and didn't say anything about that. So that right there, yes, that removes and this entire shaft comes out all the way to the transaxle. Now we're still going to bump it on its head in the given regular place. I don't think it's going to give me a whole lot of trouble coming out with the bolt removed. Let's do that. Well, we got some friendly little sleet going on. Hold me up for just a minute. I don't think it's going to do that for long, though. I mean, have you ever seen the snow with the sun out? Welcome to Oregon, folks. But yeah, my next task, I need to find a little catcher for transmission fluid to put under that before I knock that axle out. Here we go. Time I do a CV axle, it seems to make me end up breathing heavy. It's not that they're so hard to do. I just always seem to end up getting the ones that have been on the car since the Clinton era. So that one, the intermediate bearing was not much of a holdup actually. You do have to remove the little nut though, unlike the other video showed. It's getting something between that from underneath the car to knock it loose. So what I ended up doing is I took my band wrench and I hung it up underneath the car with my pickle fork in that to give me some kind of fulcrum or leverage point just to hold the damn thing still so that I could get enough swing with the 4-pounder from a very cramped position to get her knocked out. It appears no transmission fluid came out of it. We'll see how low that ends up being. We're going to wipe off a few things and we're going to go plugging this thing back together. Alright, well we can't let a little thing like hail stop us here at Jenkins Performance. We got a new axle in that, folks. And the axle clip, I doubt you can see it. That was a fun fight too. Just back your patience next time you do one of those that's incorrectly. So, now we just got a couple more things to do and we can button up this side, yeehaw. Thank goodness, because the weather is trying not to cooperate with me. I mean, this ain't real bad. Don't worry. But, challenges. Let's find our way through. Wow, I think I cut myself. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be mobile techs. Rain, heat, sleet, hail, or snow, folks. This will pass over in just a minute. I ain't too worried about it. Or so I hope. I waited to take any video until I had it all out this time. Everything I've set to take out is out. That's all CV axle grease. We didn't lose any transmission fluid. Strangely, I'm going to want to check that level pretty good. Also have the piece to transfer onto the control arm on the other side. Shouldn't be too big of a deal since this has all been recently worked now and not stubborn. Let me show y'all my little secret trick. There sometimes is no right way to get behind a CV axle and beat on it. And I have a trick up my sleeve for that. I got to put it into action today. So you take your slide hammer, and you band clamp you some vice grips to that. Go ahead and rip the head, the end off your CV axle, and grip the inside of that cup with it. Bump, 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 she'll be out. Way less risk of destroying anything other than your tools or hands, but you're not going to break aluminum transmission parts using them as a fulcrum. That CV axle could have been worse, but it's about to be a whole lot better. I imagine somebody's changed that at some point in the life of the car. But you can see the old bone pile. We'll put another old bone in the bone pile right there. So there's all the old debris off the car. Let's assemble it. I am extremely pleased to report that the long fight is almost over with this one. Got to put the dust shield back in the knuckle. To reinstall that, I got to clean up the knuckle and finish that part. But that's what needs to go in to bolt this back together. And then I can go address what I screwed up on the other side. To mention, if you see this little bracket right here that is on this, well, that looks like this in person. And it was so covered in grease and stuff, I did not even see it on the old control arm when I removed and replaced the first one. I would probably explain why it was so hard to get it lined up, because it's going to be in there crooked by 2 washers thickness. That being said, clean these up and swap them over. They go there, like that. Well, it goes there, folks. So that's where you need that. It's in between that and that main bolt. So, let's finish it up. Let's complete this adventure. I'm sure this customer's ready to have it back. This is just a prime example of when you're dealing with a car that's over 20 years old, there's a service time that things are supposed to take, and then there's what it's really going to take. On this car, I've had to bust out my arsenal of every way to remove a stubborn bolt, to deal with all kinds of problems, as you'll see in the video. You may encounter this, or even worse if you try to do this yourself. You definitely can do it. You can persevere. Pack your patience, and if you're going to go for this one, for the complete undercar on the 20-year-old Camry, I'm going to recommend doing it in stages, and or have another transportation ready to rock for a couple of days at least. You do not want to try this in one afternoon. This one's pretty. It's about as least corrosion as I could expect there to be on one, and it was still a fighter. So, this car is now officially named Rocky Balboa. Let's finish putting it together and call it a day. Day and yay! Congratulations, Willie, and everybody who's been watching. The Camry, Rocky Balboa, the fighter, it earned that nickname from me, is now complete. Everything is done. Everything is tight. No weird noises. Out of alignment. That's the alignment shop's job. Interested to see what they say about that camber adjustment. I know it's no good. We'll find out what they say. All that together, though, it's riding magnificent. It feels like it should. It's smooth. It has a suspension under it. We don't get any of the clunks or awful noises we were getting. It doesn't feel like it's just a set of springs and jello. It's tight and right. And as tight and right as it can get. I imagine it'll feel even better with decent tires that aren't 20 years old on it and a good alignment. All the old bones ready to go to the graveyard. Bits and pieces everywhere. I mean, we changed this thing out, folks. You can look at it from underneath. Oh, that be new. It's probably dark out here in dark mode, but she's solid. She's together. We'll solve anything else the alignment shop tells me about. But there you go, folks. Restoration of a 2001 Camry well underway. Up next, a little bit of alignment, tires, and then some cosmetics, and then we got a car. Have fun, folks. Folks, we're back on the 2001 Camry project, and today's job's real simple. It's time to update the look and get some hubcaps on there. We've got beautiful Uniroyal Tiger Paw tires on it that are going to serve the customer well. Now it's time to put new laces on the shoes. So we'll just do a quick walk around of what this looks like beforehand. And we'll show you what just a very small investment in hubcaps can do to change the appearance of a car. Okay, well, we got those installed, and we're both very happy with the way that looks. Real update to the car's appearance. Classy, stylish, looks like it belongs on the vehicle. Looking great with those meaty tires. Looking great with that proper ride height and good suspension. I'm going to call this one a win, folks. Looking pretty. Appreciate everybody watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something.